Today, we're going to be touring this beautiful Italian yacht. This is a 2023 Sanlorenzo SL120A. Now in this case, the A in 120A stands for asymmetric, and once we get on board, I'm going to explain and show you exactly what that means. This yacht is presented for sale by the Italian Yacht Group. It's 120 feet in length, or 36.5 meters. You have a beam of 24 feet and 11 inches, or 7.6 meters, and a draft of 6 feet and 4 inches, or 1.93 meters. And as you can see, we can make our way on board via the swim platform or via the passerelle. And this yacht has a really cool garage, so I think we're gonna head onto the swim platform and check that out first. As you can see, this entire platform will fold out from the transom. And then if we step inside, this entire area is teak lined, so this acts as both a garage and a beach club. As you can see, we have some loungers laid out. But then also, if we step inside, you'll see there's the additional cutout. So right now this is for storage, but if you notice the V shape in the bottom, that's because a large tender can be slid into this area, and you can also store jet skis on either side. Additionally, you'll notice the fold-out terraces on each side, and these also act as garage doors. So utilizing the cranes in the ceiling, you can get your toys and tenders out of this area, open this up completely, and enjoy it as a customized beach club. You'll also notice it's also equipped with a wet bar, so I think we have a sink underneath this basket. We have a sea bob stored, and then of course an ice maker and some refrigeration. So I really like how this is a multi-purpose space. And this yacht has a very cool layout. It's essentially a massive 120-foot raised pilot house yacht, with the twist of the asymmetric design, which we'll get into in just a moment. And also from this area, we do have direct access into the engine room. I'm not sure if we're gonna take this door later on or a second door from the aft deck, but either way, we'll get to the engines later on. And you may have noticed there is a dive center on board. All right, let's head up onto this yacht now and continue touring it. So we're gonna make our way up onto the aft deck. And then let me just turn my back for a moment. Of course, you saw the huge row of bench seating and all the additional tables. And this is where the asymmetric concept begins. If you notice right away, we have a staircase leading up to the flybridge, but then there's no side deck on this side. And you'll find one over here on the starboard side. And what this design gives you, by foregoing the side deck on the port side, that's why they call this the asymmetric. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted. We have this beautiful fold-out terrace, but let me backtrack. Because we got rid of the side deck on the port side, inside, we recapture all of that volume and real estate. So I'll show you that in just a moment here. So stepping into the main salon, this is an absolutely beautiful area. And then here, take a look at this. Here is where we recapture all of that space. We have some loungers and seating areas strewn all across the length of this space. There's a TV that folds down from the ceiling. And then your main seating area is tucked just behind us. And all of it is facing each other, so it's a very sociable area. And then we have the large windows and also doors that lead out to this fold-out terrace. So it really ties the space all together with tons of natural light and a very open and airy feeling. And later in the tour, I'm going to show you, although you don't have the side deck on the port side on the main level, it's still very easy to get around the super yacht because of the well thought out design. And in my opinion, if I was gonna get one of these Sanlorenzos, I think I would lean towards the asymmetric version because I love all the additional real estate you get inside. And also a cool feature, Sanlorenzo always incorporates the stairs into the frame of the yacht, and I think it's really cool how we have the glass behind the metal accents, so you still get a glimpse of the staircase that leads up, even though that's fully outside. And also back here in this space, we have some additional refrigeration underneath. All right, now we're gonna continue forward, and I think we're actually gonna start over here on the starboard side, because on many yachts, you'll actually find the galley on the port side, but Sanlorenzo, they flip that concept around, and we always find the galley on the starboard side. So we have a side access door, and then also we have the staircase, which leads up to the pilot house, which actually we will check out now. You can see 4 multifunction displays by Ray Marine, and one of them is on so we can monitor all of the tanks. And then we have a space to lounge out up here as well, and a small desk for the captain. And like on any raised pilot house, we will have direct access to the flybridge from this glass door. But we're not going to head up there yet. We still have so much to see on the interior. So next up, we're going to check out the galley. You can see we have the Gaggenau appliances. That's very high-end stuff. Then also all of your cold storage is built along the wall here. And then we're going to continue back around to the main salon. And then if we head up on the port side, we have the owner suite located on the main deck. So this staircase will lead down to all the rest of the guest cabins. You'll find storage along here, and also a very nice bar. We will also find the day head with a very thick door. And I really like the stone accents that they went with, and we have that same stone in the owner's ensuite, so we'll see that in just a moment. So through this door, this is where the owner's domain begins. We have a large entrance. We have the walk-in closet. And then their personal effects are inside, so I'm just going to show this closet, at least the interior of it. But also we have additional closet space behind these 2 doors. We have a ton of windows in here, so you get lots of natural light. And if we come around, you'll see the bench. The TV rises up right here. And of course, your king bed. Over on the far side of the room, you'll find a dressing table. And then of course, the ensuite. As mentioned, we have that same beautiful stone. It's a double vanity. And then we have the toilet over here. And last but not least, the shower. With an extremely large rainfall shower head. We can also see the bench. And I also like that you get large windows. We had it both in the galley and up in this shower, which gives us a lot of natural light in all the different spaces. And then you may have noticed when we walked in, so I'll show it to you now. We have the private access to the foredeck from the owner suite, which you can find right through here. And there is a much thicker door to go along with this glass door. And I don't think I want to fully go outside yet because we still need to see all the guest cabins. So I'll give you a little preview of this foredeck space, and then we'll come back to it later on. But all the way forward up here, you can see the U-shaped seating, sun pads on either side with the table, and also these cushions are on top of all of your equipment. So you have the winches, the anchor chain, and your bollards underneath here. So the crew can easily move these cushions out of the way when they need to access the space. But I like how they were still able to incorporate leisurely areas in an area that's normally reserved for just business. And of course, we can see that large window that peers into the owner's suite. Although it's tinted, so we can't see inside while we're out here. And I always love when builders utilize the foredeck as much as possible, and this yacht is no exception. It does a great job of that up here, but we'll check out all those sun pads, as mentioned, in a little bit. Let's head back inside for now. And we'll give you one more look in here. And then one thing I was just thinking about, I'm curious if these tables are convertible in any way because we don't have any type of dining room in here. I can't really tell from leaning down, but I believe we also have additional dining spaces upstairs. So I guess we'll find out in a little bit. But let's head down to the guest cabins. And in no particular order, you can see some storage and their AV equipment. And these two beds, you can see they're single frames, so these can be pushed apart into two singles if you wanted to. The TV is integrated into the wall. And then of course you have your larger closets with, I like these leather strapped handles. And they're ensuite. Now we'll go across the hall and we'll find a very similar cabin. It looks like we have rainfall showers in all the different cabins, so no one's going to be feeling left out. And then back here, let's see what we have. Looks like two more cabins, and I imagine these are considered the mirrored VIPs because they're not singles that can be pushed apart. But they're still a very similar size. Well, I take that back. These are definitely larger than the last two, and they have a much larger ensuite. And they also have a dressing table built in as well. What's going on, guys? I know some of you have been asking me to get on camera more often, and I'm a one-man show, so it's not always easy, but I appreciate you being here. And also, let me do my YouTube plugs now. If you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you have some friends that you think would enjoy the content, maybe share the video with them. Any type of engagement you leave helps me out a ton, and it's absolutely free, so thank you so much. All right, and now that my mandatory YouTube plugs are out of the way, we can get back to focusing on the yacht. I'm not going to show you the toilet in this one. I promise it's exactly the same as the last one, so you're not missing out on a thing. And of course, as we're going throughout the tour, if something stands out to you, leave a comment down below because I love hearing your thoughts and I also love interacting with you guys in the comments. But let's head upstairs. And actually, before we head outside, I know earlier I didn't head down to the crew area, so let's go back there now. I wanted to give the crew a little bit of time. I think they're in the middle of a meal. So now it should be a little more open. And I think I showed it earlier, this large storage space. So down the staircase, here we find the crew mess. They have their sink, microwave, some refrigeration, a TV, as well as some other monitors to monitor the actual systems on the boat. And of course, their U-shaped seating with the table. And then over in this direction, here we can see one of the cabins. I believe this is the captain's cabin with his or her ensuite. And it even has a teak lining in the drain. So that's always a nice little touch. It feels much better on your feet, or at least to me it does. I don't know about you. And then all the additional crew cabins will be down this hallway. And you can see one example of that right here. And then last but not least, we also have the laundry room tucked all the way back in this crew area. And there's also a little space for storage. And a big thank you to the crew for letting me invade their space. As I mentioned earlier, when we were in the galley, they were wrapping up a meal, and these crews work incredibly hard. I mean, honestly, at any point, they're working very hard, but particularly at these shows, they're doing a ton of prep work and maintaining the cleanliness all throughout the day while potential clients are coming on and off. All right, now we're gonna head upstairs. So we've made it up to the flybridge, and I think we'll start all the way forward, where we have the second helm station, and probably on a beautiful day like today, your primary place where you're controlling the yacht from. We have a mix of Raymarine and Garmin multifunction displays, in addition to the rest of the controls. It looks like we have a carbon fiber steering wheel, and this is a double, maybe a triple depending on the size of the humans, but either way, a large bench across. And then on the other side, we have the same thing, at least from the seating perspective. And then just after this area, we have another convertible table and a huge U-shaped seating section. And then back here, we have bits of storage, also catering sections. So we have the sink, ice maker, refrigerator, and the built-in barbecue. And then some freestanding furniture to fill the space all the way back here. And also, I really like these small touches. Of course, it's not on the whole length of the railing, but at least on the back portion, they elevated the railing with the glass and teak combination. And on a yacht like this, you could customize the furniture to your liking and also use the space however you'd like. I believe this is a piece of workout equipment. It might be a Peloton. That leg looks awfully familiar. But then continuing forward again, in this front half is where we have the hardtop, and then back here, you just have the shade that can be put up. So it's pretty customizable. And then also in the middle, we have the section that can be opened up. And with the high railings on each side, you're very protected while you're sitting in this area. And then I'm gonna show you how you can get around these different areas. As I mentioned, I think even without the port side deck, it's still very easy to navigate. And on every race pilot house yacht, at least in my opinion, you should have this connectivity. And many of them do, dare I say the majority, but there's still some out there that don't. So hopefully we continue to see it implemented on all these yachts. But up here, this glass door is how you get down to the pilot house. And then you'll see a side access door because on this upper level, from the halfway point of the yacht all the way forward, we have a side deck on this upper level. And this is what brings us up to the foredeck and then down to that private owner's entrance. So if we continue up this area, earlier I talked about I always like to see a well-utilized foredeck, and this one is no exception. We have a huge section of sun pads, speakers built in, and also another U-shaped seating area. We have the shade overhead for protection from the sun, and of course, it's always important to use protection. Now let's head down. This is how we can get back down to the owner's deck. I don't know if it's officially called that, but I'm going to call it that for now. And then to get back around to where we started, if we turn around, you'll see that this deck on the starboard side just dips away, and that's because there's a staircase, which will bring us back down to the main deck. So hopefully now all of that makes sense. You can see this is back out onto the side folding terrace. And then of course this will bring us back to the aft deck. And we're going to go back down to the beach club and take a look at the engine room. So if we open up this door and we climb through the threshold, this will grant us access to the engine room. You'll find the generator on the far side. And looking over here, this is where the chief engineer's office is located. And the door on the port side, which also grants you access to this area. Now let's talk about these engines. They're MTU engines, more specifically MTU 16V 2000 M96L engines, rated at 2,637 horsepower. We have a beautiful, beautiful top speed of 27 knots. We can cruise at 23, and at that cruising speed, you're looking at about 500 nautical miles of range. Drop it down to 12 knots, and you're looking at closer to 1,200 nautical miles of range. And we're gonna exit back out from where we came. And of course, we will close this door behind us. We always like to leave things exactly as we found them. Easy enough to do with one hand. All right, guys, I think that's it. We've seen every area on board this beautiful Sanlorenzo SL120A. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. And also let me know what you think. Would you prefer the asymmetric version or the regular version with the full side decks? Either way, there's no wrong choice. It's all about personal preference. And we will catch you next time.